go ahead and call the R&R hearing to order. You made it just in time, Tim. Is there any?
Am I it?
Well, if you have comment on the R&R,
I do.
okay,
First off, I can sit back here.
you can.
What in the world does revenue neutral mean? Because it sure doesn't look neutral to me. Did you see this is the letter you guys all received, we all received, right? Mm-hmm. There's 3 columns in it. There's the last year's tax. There's something called 2024 tax at revenue neutral rate. And then a 24 maximum tax, which I'm assuming would be the maximum tax. But mine neutral is 0. That's what neutral means to me, and that's not what this says to me. Do you guys know what revenue neutral means?
So revenue neutral, because obviously valuations change from year to year. So a mill levy isn't worth the same amount from year
Correct.
to year. So revenue neutral means that the taxing entity, which would be the city of St. Francis that you're here for, we are not increasing our budget more than the same amount of revenue we generated last year based on the mills last year. So to go
So
over that,
you're not increasing your mill levy, you mean?
so the mills are worth a different amount this year
Yes.
than they were last year. So basically, going over the revenue neutral rate means you're going over the amount that you generated in tax revenue last year.
Well, your property tax base has risen because of assessment.
But our so we're going over. So revenue neutral means that we're not increasing our mill levy to generate more money. So the money would be neutral.
You're receiving
Correct.
more money because of the assessed value.
So the revenue
mill
neutral
is worth more money than it was.
So the revenue neutral means that you're not bringing in any more money than you did
I
last
think
year.
Just with the word neutral set there, it set me off a little bit. It isn't
So
neutral.
basically, to go over means that you're budgeting more than
So-
you did last year.
At one point, there was a budget cap, but budget cap is no longer
That-
not budget cap, tax revenue cap. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
That has gone away.
That's gone away. Yes.
So you really don't have to ask permission for this then.
No, but to be so the revenue neutral is to be transparent to the taxpayers, to notify them of the anticipated. Doesn't mean that that's actual. That's
You haven't decided that yet.
Well, I mean, we will approve it tonight.
You will soon. Okay.
Yes.
Well, and I appreciate you guys all being here, and I want to commend you for being on the council, and you have a tough job.
Yeah.
And I'm not really here to gripe; I'm just kind of here to gripe.
So does that have what the city's
Yes.
anticipated?
Again, this is my individual one. Okay, so of your total, my total tax bill, roughly 50% is county. City is about a little less than 25,
Yeah.
and school is a little over 25. Then you have a few minor things like cemetery and those things. So, and I've been to the commissioners too, so I'm just don't feel special. I'm just talking to all my tax people.
Yeah.
My tax bill went up 20% this year. Will be going up 20% this year. My taxes have gone up tremendously. You takes taxes. You got to have money to operate the city. I understand that. I don't have any answers. I don't even have any questions. But I do know I can't have a 20% increase in tax for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm talking to everybody. So.
yeah, and I don't know if it has what the actual anticipated mill levy is on there for the city, but I can tell you what we came up with. It is not. Do you remember what that figure was off the top of your head? What the revenue neutral was?
I believe the one that went with those letters that were sent out by the county was at a 31.65.
They were higher than that, wasn't it?
Well, according to this, again, and
According
to this, my taxes will raise 20% next year. This 24's maximum tax will be 20% higher than what I paid last year. Well, I'm sorry. I did say cities is 10%. My overall tax burden will be 20% more.
So this is an estimated, and what the budget we're actually getting ready to approve is less than that.
Okay,
So
well, that tickles me. I'm happy.
Yeah, so
I'm just saying, it's a privilege to pay taxes. I understand that. I really say that. I mean that. But if I'm going up 20% every year for the next 4 or 5 years, it's going to become a burden. And taxes should not become a burden. Taxes should not be any consideration about whether you can live in your house or what you stay in your house. Heck, we've lived there since 1978. We've done quite a number of things, not so much recently, but made it nice. And it feels like when you make something nice, you have something nice, all of a sudden somebody's taxing you for it. Maybe I should move across the street and go into the Turtle House. What are you charging for that sucker?
Probably not much.
And that should lower my assessed value. My neighborhood's crappy and everything. Thank you. That's kind of what I was trying to find out, though. I don't really. I have no answers. I don't know what the questions are. I just am concerned about the tendency for tax, and it's not a tendency. It's been going on this way forever. Mm-hmm. Taxes keep increasing, but at some point, again, they're going to become a burden, mm-hmm. and they should not be a burden.
And I think as far as the city goes, we are very mindful, and we're different than the county because they generate most of their revenue off of taxes, which we have our utilities that. So we're not as reliant on tax dollars as
you have an alternate source of income someplace.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up another question. Just curious. We've been paying a 1% sales tax for 2 years now, a little over 2 years. Did that generate what you expected to, and what's going on with that money?
We're using it for infrastructure projects. We've been running about $200,000 a year into electrical upgrades.
So what do you know what the total was? I'm just curious what that 1% sales tax was. How much did it generate?
Man, do you know that off the top?
Ballpark.
Ballpark, yeah. On a year, is it?
Was it a couple hundred? 180?
I was thinking 140 to 180, 180, 140,000, roughly in there. 140 to 180. That's my best guess. I know it's under 200, but I believe it's under 1.
Yeah. And we use
so is that what you anticipated?
I don't think we really knew what to anticipate.
I've talked to a number of retailers who feel like this might have a detriment to people purchasing in St. Francis as opposed to other. Because the 1% is pushed to a number almost 10% sales tax, and they feel concerned about it.
So do they have any problems?
I don't know that the sales have gone down. I don't know if you can even compare year to year. We're not comparing apples to apples. But I don't know what you're supposed to do with it either. Again, I don't have any answers or any questions. I'm just finding some information.
It's being put against electrical improvements and street improvements. We've got another phase coming through probably this month, and then we've got more planned for next year.
Streetwise, yeah. But yeah, a lot of it, the electrical, people don't see, especially when we replace the lines coming from the wells. It's something you don't see. You've seen them in town, and that's something we've budgeted for numerous years. The $200,000 for electrical on the streets. We're working on continuing year after year to keep that upgrade going. So,
but you had an anticipated number, and it must be still within that area when you.
Yeah, because obviously we took out bonds for the 2 street projects that we did, so we have to make those payments. So our anticipation was it would generate enough to make the payments, and it does. And then
it does.
Whatever's in excess goes strictly for infrastructure improvements. Yeah. We cannot use it for anything else. It goes strictly back to improvements. So.
I'm just an old man griping.
That's all right.
But like I said, my concern is the direction that taxes are all going in, and not just taxes. My gosh, everything is. Robin and I both had good jobs, and we had a nice retirement plan. But guess what? That our retirement checks don't recognize revenue neutral. It's the same last month, same this month, same next month.
Yeah.
And we built a pretty nice house and live in it, but I'd have to find a trailer someplace.
And I'll agree with Tim to a certain extent, and thank you guys again.
Because
I was up there long enough.
Dramatizing a little bit too.
It does kind of hit the retired people a little hard.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because we're on fixed incomes now. But then, Tim, I also do know that Norton just raised their sales tax to 9.5%. Yeah, because I was with two people this weekend, and they said that they just passed theirs, and now they are at 9.5% down there.
Well,
So it's yeah.
city needs to go find a couple oil wells next to those water wells. And get some
Yeah.
Again, thank you all for serving. I appreciate it. I'm just,
Thank you,
that
Tim.
was my concern. And you're not, I'm going to everybody. I miss the school. I have to talk to them some other time. But I'm concerned that 10 years from now, if my taxes double again,
Yeah.
it's going to be an issue. All right, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Tim.
Yep.
See ya.
Any other comments? Do you guys have any comments on the revenue? Do you have any comments on the revenue neutral hearing?
I'm just a visitor, but
Okay.
you want me to,
Just on the revenue neutral. That's right now all we have is the revenue neutral hearing. So
I'm sorry, I have a little trouble hearing you.
just on the revenue neutral rate hearing is all we're having right now. We haven't started the regular council meeting.
Okay,
So-
okay, that's fine.
Yep. If not, I guess we will. Do we need to close the?
Resolution,
Okay. So,
that needs to.
do I have a motion to approve resolution number 2024-5, resolution of the City of St. Francis, Kansas, to levy a property tax rate exceeding the revenue neutral rate?
Move.
Moved by Justin,
Second.
second by Kale. Roll call, Bud. Kale, Larry,
Yes.
Justin. All right. And if that's it, I guess we'll go ahead and close the R&R hearing and call the budget hearing to order. Is there any comment on the budget from anybody? I think everything was discussed. There's nothing. I guess if there's no comment, do I hear a motion to approve the 2025 budget?
So,
Moved by Kale.
Second.
By Larry. Is this roll call? Roll call, Bud? Yes.
yes.
Kale? Larry?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
All right. Passed. We'll go ahead and close the budget hearing. Anything else in the budget hearing before we?
Just your first page, can you send around for signatures?
Uh-huh. And we'll go ahead and close the budget hearing and call the regular meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to read over the minutes from the previous meeting?
I'll move.
Moved by Justin to approve,
Second.
seconded by Kale. All in favor? Consent agenda. We need permission for clerk to pay insurance at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utilities at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utility incentive before the 25th of the month, permission for clerk to pay theater bills when due, permission for clerk to pay payment service network bills when due, and permission for clerk to pay city attorney bills when due.
So moved.
Moved by Larry,
Second.
second by Justin. All in favor? Building permits.
For fence. It's just replacing what we're over basically, on concrete and posts.
There, a motion to approve the building permit.
So,
Moved by Kale,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor. Yearbook order form.
So on this
Mm,
one,
First one.
an 11th grader came in.
Oh, what's that? Okay.
thanks.
Go ahead.
So an 11th grader came in, wanted to know if the city wanted to purchase an ad in the yearbook. Now, the ad does not have to be, of course, come work for the city or anything, but it can be, congratulations to this year's class or whatnot. I told her we've never done it in the past, but I can present it to council poll. She said, please. So it is out there for you guys to see it.
Any thoughts on that?
Much of it?
They have different sizes.
60, 90, 60 up to 250. Yeah. Just,
I've never done it,
yeah,
I guess.
I don't know that.
That'd be good to support them too. And the money goes to.
For your,
Is there a picture in the paper or something? Picture of Amanda. Yep. Yeah.
It could be a picture of all the
top,
whole council.
just top or bottom.
That's the top one.
Huh?
I said you're not holding this up.
I can.
Well, I guess
When's the deadline?
Unless I probably have something to think on
Well, basically the deadline was a week ago. She said that she was going to tell her teacher that she dropped it with the city and that the city would need it until tonight. And I told her, because I was like, the council has to do this, not me.
Been there 24 years and we was never asked.
I was like, I don't remember
Never
anybody.
asked or never did it?
They never asked.
Never
As
asked.
far as I know.
This was the first
I
time
just,
I've
yeah.
ever seen
I know
it.
we've never done it, but
I think it took his city form to come out.
Amanda, that was.
So since I've worked here, we've had people come in and ask for us to sponsor things or donate like movie passes or whatever. And not saying it always has to be this way, but when I first came, I was told that this is
we're
that's
taxing
taxpayer
entity.
dollars,
Yeah.
Right.
It just,
and
after, yeah.
we have that. It's taxpayer dollars we'd be spending for donations or ads.
So maybe it's not the best idea.
I think what Jen's trying to get at the legal term is the public purpose doctrine. Does it satisfy your duty and your public purpose of the governing organization? And if it does not, then it would likely be improper.
That's kind of. Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Okay.
So we don't support kids? Is it the?
Not that we
They're
don't
both
support
taxed.
kids,
They're both
but
taxed. So.
it's just, yeah.
I think we're not going to an organization or anything like that. We're actually sponsoring our school. So it's not, that's what I'm looking at there.
Not going to just one class, it's going.
But you start with the school. I mean, you start with yearbook. That's an organization within the school. And
Don't we
then
do this with magazines and
It's
stuff
the
like that
same
too?
thing.
What's that?
Put our stuff in magazines too?
That's advertising for the city. though.
Is it an advertising in your book? It's an ad.
I wouldn't call it that.
It says an advertisement. Advertisement option.
Thoughts? I just think with Tim being here and the concerns with taxes going up and obviously expenses, that maybe that's not the best. I don't know.
Wrong either way, 'cause
Yeah.
either way is right.
Go ahead.
When we put ads like, what we need to,
Yeah.
they need to make a motion tonight about the ultimate guide.
Mm-hmm.
That's considered tourism
And it's paid out.
for tourism, and we pay it out of our guest tax fund. So it doesn't come out of the general fund.
No, you don't care? I guess we'll just go ahead and forego it this year and move on. Items from previous meetings? Anyone?
I have out there the same stuff for the sidewalks because Lauren is here.
We can, I guess we can circle back to that with the attorney stuff.
Sure.
Okay. Property cleanup, Dan?
I'm sure there's some, but I haven't had time to look for a few weeks.
Okay. Project spending, anything? Anybody have anything on that project spending?
So I do know they are working on the theater renovation project. There's some contractors working on it.
Contractors looking at it.
Yeah, they're doing the stuff that they want to renovate down there. They want to change up a few things, but they haven't officially said that yet.
Street project? Dan?
Last I heard, B&H is planning the 16th to the 18th, but I'm not sure on that. We haven't got rock yet, so. And we have decided not to do East Spencer, and maybe not the 2 blocks of Webster, and kick over to do Scott Street. Or Benton Street, Scott Street, River Street, a lot of the main streets to that way. And then we'll look at that other stuff probably next year. East Spencer, we gotta do something with it, but I don't know what the answer is. Cause it's really bad on the far east end.
We take a complete overhaul.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I really got on that stuff.
Do we know when we're gonna get rock in or?
Well, B&H actually called the guy at Hoover's Hand, and he said they'd have it here by 16th or the 18th, so just kind of waiting to see the first truck roll in, and then go from there.
Visitor, Scott, you're up. How's it like being on that side of the table?
Feels good. Kind of here for 2 reasons. The first one is going to be for the Triangle Park down there. We are moving forward, hopefully really quick now. We've got the light poles in. They came in. I'm going after the fencing Friday. Thanks to Dan and the crew, they moved the light poles, so Rock can now put up forms and we can start doing cement. As soon as I can get Rock going that direction, and we all know. But anyway, we are moving forward on that project. We're going to do the pickleball court first. We have to kind of do it in stages. Part of it's because Martin Dietz is doing the electrical underground conduit stuff for us. He got in enough stuff that we can do the pickleball court, get it going, and then he's got to come back when he gets back from Washington State to put in more underground conduit, and so that we can keep moving forward. But we hope by November, or I don't know when, we have the pickleball courts done and the volleyball courts done. Then there's going to be still some more stuff to do, the horseshoe and the cornhole toss deal, but that probably will be next year's projects and stuff. Depends on how things go. So things have been moving kind of slow, but I think they will take off now once we start getting some cement poured. The TAP committee, we just met today, 4:30. On the pool house, the old bathhouse, which the city owns, well, all this property is going to be the city's no matter what. all the renovations that is going to be done is going to be cities. On the pool house, I was wondering, we'd like to paint the pool house. And I've always never liked to paint brick, but that brick is so stained and so out of place that we thought we'd like to paint that brick white and then do the trim in the Kelly green and the blue, which is their theme colors and stuff. And we didn't know if the city would pay for the paint and we did all the labor work, was a question I was going to ask on that. If we did all the manpower, power washing it and scraping it and getting the building on the outside. The inside's going to be a while before we can do anything inside. But we thought if we can get the pickleball court, volleyball court done, get that building looking good on the outside, we'll be able to use it for a while, but get it looking good, and then it'll look like something really happening down there.
What's everybody's thoughts?
I'm all right with it.
Kale, Bud? You all right? Justin? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, I'll get with Dan. We've got it scheduled now that we might try to do some of that work on the weekend of the 19th and 20th of coming up in October. So, and then I guess real quick while I'm here, I did submit a event permit for the Timberfest that's on the 21st. There's no beer garden. There's no live music this year. All we're going to ask for is blocking off the street between, and I'll just check with Dan to get some cones, just putting cones across Benton here and Scott Street. Just be that one block there is all we're going to block off. And all we'd want from Dan is probably some trash containers and some cones, and that's going to be about it. So, and I turned in the insurance and everything to Leanne today, so she has all that stuff. So,
Is it out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
so if anybody has any questions on that, I was late getting it in, and so we just went in today.
Does anybody have any issues with it, or do we have a motion to approve the special event application? Moved by Bud, second by Kale, all in favor? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you for,
Thanks for what you're doing,
Yeah.
Scott.
Okay, well, thank you for supplying the paint. I'll get crews ready to try to get painted. So, and I think it'll be a really good asset to the community and stuff. So, I'm just gonna have to be in stages.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be nice when it's all done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank
Alrighty.
you.
Yep. Thanks, Scott.
See you, Scott.
See ya.
Jackie, you're up.
Okay, I don't mean to invade your space, but I really do have trouble hearing you back
Oh,
there.
you're
No,
fine.
you're fine.
Anyway, thank you again. I'm just here to do a little follow-up from the last time. And if you remember, we discussed the conditions down at Crave, the difficulty getting into and out of for people that have to use walkers or wheelchairs or canes or whatever. I have done a little bit of homework, so I'm a little bit better prepared, I think, and hopefully this will be brief. I did notice, and I got on the city website, and also the young lady sent me the information. I didn't write down. Didn't do a very good job of my homework because I didn't do notes. But anyway, I don't remember what the article number was, but it states in there that the responsibility for cleaning the gutter and maintaining it is up to the business owner. Is that correct?
The property owner, correct.
Okay. Well, one of the things, I guess, and it was my own misunderstanding, and you can, maybe straighten me out on this or help me out with this. I thought that the city owned the street, the curb and gutter, and up everything to and beyond the sidewalk.
The city owns a right-of-way. They do not actually own the property.
Okay.
The city has
thank
reserved
you.
an easement or a right-of-way.
Okay.
The property lines generally, and Amanda, correct me if I'm wrong here, go actually to the center of the alleys and to the center of the street.
Right.
However, the city has reserved a right-of-way or an easement, so they are not actually the owners of that
Okay.
portion of the property.
Well, and I was thinking about the city park. I guess that you guys own that. So you have to maintain the curb and gutter over there, right?
The county owns that.
Because who?
The county owns the.
Oh, the county
park
owns it.
over there.
Okay, see,
Yeah.
another thing I didn't know. So thank you for the
Yes.
information. And I have to say, you know, I live here and I love being here and I'm so proud of everything on Washington except that one block. And I just would like to see something done to improve it, that's all. And, you know, make it better for all of us. And I'm not sure that, you know, I'm one person, and I also did some other homework, and I've contacted the state and the federal ADA, and I'm getting conflicting information from them about whose responsibility it is to provide access for disabled people to a business. So,
I know with the ADA, I run into is the owner of the property has to, is liability for that.
okay. I have one other question because I didn't know until I talked to Vicki over there. There is no drainage on that street. Are they also responsible to provide drainage? Because that's part of the problem. That gutter fills up with all kinds of crap. Excuse my language, but that's what it is. And there's no drainage on that. Did you know that?
Well, it all goes down the hill.
Huh?
It goes down the hill.
I did.
It all goes down.
It all ends up right in front of that business because that's a low spot in the street.
Yeah.
So everything ends up right in front of her business, right there in the gutter. Did any of you go over and look at it?
Yeah.
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 So you know what I'm
Sand
talking
right
about.
in front of my place fills with sand all the time.
But you know, and I have to say, you know, I'm very proud of everything on Washington except that one block because it all looks really great. And I know that you guys, you know, have a part in that, and all the business owners down there do too. But I guess I just have trouble understanding why that one block, and it's only that one side of that one block, looks like it does when the rest of it looks so good. You know, I noticed on the back of here, one of the projects pending was Washington Street Beautification Committee. Is that something that might help us with that?
Are they still in existence? Do they still have that?
We haven't met. Yeah. I mean, it's something, you know, we could.
Well, I
chip
just
in on
I
the
just saw it on the
committee,
back
but yeah.
of your,
Yeah.
your thing here. So anyway, I'm just not sure. You know, like I said, I'm getting some conflicting information from the city, from the state, from the feds mostly regarding the ADA. You know, and the Title II and III access to businesses.
Yeah.
So I'm open for any kind of suggestions, anything that would help.
And Leanne, did we not give Killingsworth, did we not
Yes.
instruct them that they were able to put up a sign?
Yes, we did.
So when Killingsworth came in and addressed it, when Vicki and Ben came in and addressed the handicap parking, they were told that they could put up a sign for handicap parking, the owners of the business.
Oh, they've been told they could put up a handicapped parking sign? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is that new?
A year ago, November.
November of last year. That it's the meeting notes that I sent to you,
Okay.
that I emailed to you today.
Yeah.
In there, Dan had brought it up that Vicki had gotten a hold of him regarding it. The council then approved that they could put up a sign for that.
Oh.
But per my email to you, we can't force them to put up a sign, but we told them that they could.
Okay, well, I guess
That we-
another one of the things I
Sorry,
misunderstood. I'm just trying to understand it all because I was under the impression that there were only certain conditions where any business on Washington could post a handicap parking. Is that true? Do they have to meet certain criteria?
That I don't know. I
Okay.
believe that actually falls under them doing the research for the Title II and III through the state.
Okay.
Because I was
They
looking
can
that
put
up
up
and
a sign,
have,
but they have to provide the
Yes.
access.
yes,
Okay, well, that's helpful.
yes.
That's helpful. And I think that's all I have tonight. I might be back next month, you never know, but I'll call early enough to get it on the agenda. And by the way, I have to give you a little bit of humor before I leave, and this is a joke. I went to see an audiologist, but I think I will get a second opinion. What in the world would I need with a hair and egg?
Yeah, there you go.
It would be a lot funnier if it wasn't so true, I can tell you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for- thank you for
Time and
coming.
information.
Yes,
Thanks
thank
again.
you. Have a great evening.
Okay, see ya.
Yeah, see you. All right. Let's see, pool report.
I don't have anything.
Superintendent report?
So last time I was going to bring this up, I forgot that Travis Jensen's deeded the property back to us. It still has a bunch of stuff there. You guys want to write a letter?
I thought we did that. I thought we wrote one.
Yeah, that we did too.
No, I think we brought all that up late last time because I wasn't here.
I know we discussed it.
Yeah, I thought we had talked about.
So,
Yeah, send him a letter.
We'll be generating tomorrow morning if everything goes right. Nobody will know. If it goes south, everybody will know.
Are we testing tomorrow?
No, Sunflower's finishing up a job
Oh,
from the last time we generated. They're switching back over to stuff.
Oh, okay.
What time is that?
Between 8 and 9. Probably. But I don't know for how long the day will be generated. So the crew's been out patching holes. We've had the whole crew out patching holes. And we're getting ready for this chip seal, but we may have to buy more patch. So I don't know if you guys want to
Yes.
prove that if we need it to get it, it's 4,500.
Yes.
Is that like a truckload? Or?
That's a truck.
Make a motion.
Moved by Gail,
Second.
second by
Gotcha.
Justin, all in favor?
And I might use some in bags, but I think it's under the limit, so I can just get it done. For winter time, have it covered inside. The other thing we got, the sweeper is dead again. So I did call Garden City today. They think we probably need to ship it down there if we're gonna have it worked on. Otherwise, they can come out and look at it, but they said if they can't fix it here, then we're gonna pay them to come out and look at it and tell us to bring it out. So either find somebody to haul it down there, or we can go the route of looking for something else. And sooner or later it comes to, is it good to keep our own headache, or is it worth trying to fix somebody else's headache? You know, because I'm sure if we buy a used one, we're buying somebody else's headache.
Yeah.
But it may be less money in the end, I don't know. But we gotta do something pretty quick, because we're not gonna have the streets cleaned up for Lake Kennedy Fest right now. There's no way.
Is there any companies down in Garden City? Is there any companies down in Garden City?
Berry Tractor is one that works on ours.
Is there
What
any
do they
place to
sell?
buy
it?
sell them?
What about the skid steer attachment? Is that
We have it. The problem I ran into, I tried it on College Street. And when I go to make the turn to get off College Street, it starts peeling up the rock we just put down.
I mean, for Washington Street though, we could use.
We can
that.
do it on some of it, yeah. We can
Yeah.
do spot cleaning and stuff. Yeah.
Maybe we could do that on the low spots up there.
Yeah, we could do that often. Washington Street's concrete, so it don't
Yeah.
peel up.
Wichita, I guess.
Like something maybe it's worth taking down there and having them look at it and see what's going to cost.
Not hurt.
Yeah, we're gonna need it fixed.
How much would it cost us to have someone come up down here?
What's
Come up
that?
here.
Come up here. I don't know how much it would be. I can call him and ask.
Well, if he sees it and says it's going to be pretty expensive, then you're like, well,
Yeah.
is it worth fixing?
There's just so much is going wrong with it. I didn't know it was quite as bad as it is till I drove it. The air conditioner doesn't work.
How old is it?
2002.
So it's fine. Yes, it's fine. Do you have any idea how much a new one would cost? Or similar?
New, I don't. I'll be looking. In today's world, 2 or 300. From there.
Might we get some
Buy a lot of brooms for
prices
that.
on Purple Wave, see what's out there.
There's Purple Wave has one in South Dakota right now for it's sitting at $650, which does 2 weeks on it.
And then a South Dakota thing, huh? Our trash truck was from North Dakota.
They've got one in North Dakota too.
I'm sure that's the better one, it's further away.
But and they're both neither one of them are very expensive right now.
Yeah. But a lot newer.
I don't know if they're a lot newer or not.
Wouldn't you? I mean, if this one isn't too bad to fix, and we could pick up a decent used one, might not be a bad idea to have two.
Or it could be the same way as the one you got.
Well, it could be, but we could have two working ones, and then when one craps out.
Get two the same and we'd have parts to it.
Exactly.
Well,
Get a
They're
part.
both sitting there.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a good answer.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of stuff wrong with this one that probably should have been taken care of before, like the air conditioner and some of that. It never looked so bad. Because the elevator's about wore out again. It needs new belts for the elevator and all that. And I think that's going to be.
Do you know how much it costs to have them ship it down there? So I can get it?
I'm guessing. If I can find somebody to haul it, well, I bet we're looking at $1,500 one way.
You just drive it back.
Yeah. Maybe they'll put high gear in it for us before we come back. Anyway, that's just something. That's the big thing right now. We don't have a sweeper.
I think you're worth it to find out where you're at on it.
yeah.
For sure. And like I said, I could have him come up and look at it. We're just going to pay him to do that, though. If I take it down there, it's there. I guess we can. They can call me and say, "Hey, this thing's going to be $3.
That could be cheaper than having him come up here and look at it.
Yeah. Especially if it comes up here and we have to haul it down there anyways to get it fixed.
Well, he says he has a trucking company, but the last time we had his trucking company come in, we tore the crap out of him. Getting it loaded. So, I think I'll wait and see what we can find. I know Dusty's hauled it before. And Yost trucks. Yeah. I'll do some checking.
Okay.
And I guess move forward. If it's 1,500, I'm just going to go ahead and have them haul it. If it's right there, good as that.
Yeah.
Steel out there?
Hey, look for another.
Really, other than I will be out of town from the 18th till the 22nd. I don't have anything else.
Any questions
You're
for
gonna
Dan?
try to go out of town again.
I won't be able to drive back.
Oh,
Well, I could, but it's going to be a lot longer drive back.
Any questions? If not, do we hear a motion to accept and file the superintendent report?
Did we get any more applications?
I have one. Ain't going to move just yet. I'm going to hold it for just a little bit.
Where are we at with that loader? Do we hold it at the same
It's
time?
still in the same place.
Did we hold at the same time?
I don't know where to haul it to.
Put it on the same load?
Scrap iron.
Make a deal. Got a loader for a room.
I need to get it out of there, but I don't know what we're going to do with it from there. Dustin says he can pull the motor and look at it. We have to find out what a rebuilt motor is. From Cat, we're probably looking 20
If you're lucky.
or more. If that's what it needs, which I know right now the best way we can tell with messing with it is it's locked up, but we can't turn the fan. So. And a burnt battery post off a brand new battery, so starter's drawing a lot of amps. Yeah, we do need to get it out of there. Figure out what to do with it. At least get it out of the grass pile.
How much is it worth?
I have no idea.
Do I hear a motion to accept and file the superintendent report?
So moved.
Moved by Larry. Second by Bud, all in favor? Attorney report.
Did you want to circle back to the parking?
We can.
What?
Sidewalks.
Sidewalk.
I got it on my list too, but I knew you were going to be talking about it.
On the replacement of sidewalks
Okay.
is what we had tabled. And I wanted to reach out to Scott because it seems like there is something with some other sidewalks in the past that I don't know. As far as replacing them.
There's not a requirement to have sidewalks on both sides of the street, is there? I don't know.
It's
That's
in the
why I'm
plan.
asking, because I'm not 100% sure.
It's in the plan that we can't find. Right?
This is for
The sidewalks, whether or not.
right.
The sidewalk
This
that's
is
for-
this is
the
this is
sidewalk
not
that's for
this
us.
is not that sidewalk. This is that sidewalk.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure.
The sidewalk that's tore out and whether or not they have to put it back.
Okay.
Which I don't think there's any question if they have to put it back that they can move it to the street because we've let other people. But I just feel like there's been other cases where we've had them. I don't know. But
Well, I don't know either. I'm pretty sure on Spencer Street, the house I used to live in, that place next door to it, the Rob Shields bought, I was sure there was a sidewalk all the way through there when he bought that.
Oh.
Yeah, not now.
And I was thinking there was down on Whittier, there's an issue with the sidewalk. But I can't remember. I was going to check into that.
I don't know what our plan is, I guess. Or
Yeah, I mean, it says according to the plan, and
We can't find the plan.
that's my understanding, correct? We can't find any plan of.
I haven't gotten any time to go into the archive room, but the plan pages that I found, I have not found any actual like plat map plan. I've only found the plan and the ordinances.
Well, is there anything that says the owner has to put in a sidewalk?
No. Not that I've read.
Not that she's read.
So if it's referring to a plan, wouldn't that just be
But
probably specs and dimensional things and
And that
And
is
it
all.
might have that in there. I don't know.
That is part of the ordinance 271.
yeah, so
270.
Why don't we? And I hate to, but let's table it, and I'll reach out to like my mom and Scott and see, because they might know where Mom worked here in the city office. They might know. We'll just put it for next meeting, and I'll do some research because I was going to do that, and I failed to get that done. So if that's all right, Lauren, we'll just take that apart, okay?
I sent a letter that's under my file. The Corporate Transparency Act. The overview of the letter is that any owners or persons having control over a company, which is an entity created by filing with the state. So corporations, LLCs, certain types of partnerships. If you own any of those entities, you are subject to this reporting requirements. One of the exemption is governmental entities. We sent out 500. If you've been a client within the last 3 years, you got a letter. Just because the penalties they're now indexed for inflation up to $591 a day. So we sent them out if you're an active client or you have been active within the last couple of years. So the city doesn't really need to worry about it because it's under the exemption of a governmental entity, but it's
what has to be reported?
It has the ownership.
Just who owns it?
There's certain requirements for the act. and we're on public record, so I can't discuss it because here's the thing: is that we're on public record, and speaking as an attorney, I can't discuss it because if someone listens to what I say, misconstrues it, and then does it incorrectly, I don't want them coming to the city or coming to me about it. So if someone has questions on it, they can contact my office if they would like our assistance with it. Otherwise, FinCEN's website has, I think it's over 100 frequently asked questions on the matter. But there are resources on FinCEN's website. But there is a reporting if you have any of those entities or have control of any of those entities, have ownership of any of those entities, you may be subject to, in fact, you probably are subject to this reporting requirement. So the city meets the governmental entity exemption. So the city does not have to file, but you got it because you're a client. Yay! I had a meeting with Sheriff Beeson today regarding a case. The reason I was meeting with him was that we have a fairly substantial case that's going to be coming through municipal court, and we were discussing kind of the procedure on that and what was and how it's going to be handled from an evidentiary standpoint, and just a procedural standpoint. It was why I was meeting with him. I understand he was in here last time, and there is some discussion about the certain procedures regarding dogs, traffic, certain other ordinances, and I'm not entirely sure what those conversations were, but he said he would be here. He said he would be around on for the second meeting this month, and so I don't know if we want to try and coordinate with him. I don't know what was said. I don't know what the discussion was. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to discuss what I have knowledge of, but I don't, like I said, as I wasn't here, I'm unclear as to
visited this morning, I think, with a new judge coming in and just new people on board, and refresh how we handle cases and take a look at how we handle them if we need to change procedure. And does anybody else have any input on for Laura?
The cost effectiveness of doing it municipal versus county?
You're asking me, or that's what you're wanting?
That's what the question was.
The cost effectiveness is that, quite frankly, it's to do traffic violations. It is more cost effective to go through. It's more effective to go through the county. Leslie Vimes is the county attorney. She's elected. It's a salaried position. A lot of the cases that we get aren't the amount of time it takes me to prosecute it in municipal court. It's either exclusively recouped, or sometimes it's not even recouped. And oftentimes with traffic cases, we ended up turning 65% of them over to collections because they just don't pay them. And so, I mean, that's estimate. Okay. So we would end up turning a fair amount of them over to collections because they just won't pay. Also, a significant amount of them are people who are, quite frankly, the majority of the speeding isn't what's happening in town. It's what, down the streets. It's what's happening up on the highway. And so,
and even Cody said that for whatever reason, people seem to fight municipal court more than they do district court. They're willing to pay a fine in district court, but they're more apt to fight in municipal court for whatever reason.
I mean, we've had full-blown hearings on cases with driving without a license, driving an unregistered vehicle, driving without insurance, and it was a repeat offender, and they kept coming in, and we kept having to appoint a public defender. So the city's paying for the public defender, and the city's paying me to prosecute the cases. And it's like trying to get blood from a turnip. This person is just not paying. And so it was continually costing the city money to prosecute these charges, and the city just wasn't recouping it. And because it has the option, especially when it's a violation, if it's a violation of state statute, obviously they can't prosecute ordinances in district court. Ordinance violations such as dogs at large or something along those lines or property cleanups have to come through municipal court. But as far as the traffic, I mean, especially with the one individual who is a repeat offender, I mean, I think the city had probably paid between the public defender's fees and my fees close to $2,000 on this one individual who kept having to come in. And I don't think we ever. I don't know that we've ever been paid for it.
Even Cody said it makes more sense to run traffic any kind of goes through county, especially since we're contracting.
Yeah.
So I mean, the ordinance violations have to come through the ordinance violations that are not also a violation of state law have to come through municipal court. We're the ones with the jurisdiction for it. But anything that is also a violation of state law, especially traffic, it's just it's much more cost effective to have it go through the district court.
I'd like to see too where, let's say you have a dog case or something, where the council gets to make the decision whether we pursue it or not. I would like it brought to our attention and then decide, is it worth spending the money to pursue this, or do we take a different approach? That's my 2 cents.
I would just like transparency about everything that happens in this town.
I talked to Cody about that, and so one of the things that I talked to him about was he went and he pulled the court cases, he has a list of cases that are in front of the district court. And so some of those are traffic, some of those he broke it down, and he's going to present it. I don't think he had it at the last meeting. I think he's gotten it somewhere. Yeah. I think he's gotten it since then. He had a report, but he actually has a list of case filings. And I don't know if he had that at the last meeting. And one of the things that I had asked him was, do your deputies have their emails on their phones? And he said, yeah. He said, if we see somebody like your dog is just outside your yard, we'll stop and say, hey, your dog, and they'll go grab it. And, if it's a first time that we know about it, or it's like, I still think that we need to have some of that small town courtesy. And I said, I understand that, but as you well know, if you don't have evidence that something's being done, you can't prove that it's being done. And so I suggested, anytime your deputies do something that's pursuant to an ordinance, have them get in their truck, type, I warned Joe Blow about his dog being out, send. And I told him to send it to me because I'm the one who, I guess, does the cases, but if he wants to send it to Amanda, I don't think he needs to be sending it to the council at large. What I was going to do is just have, anytime a deputy emails me, put it in a folder. I wasn't even, frankly, going to read them, and just send the folder the week before the meeting, the Friday before the meeting, send that folder to Leanne so she can put it in so that the council has all those emails. I wasn't going to spend really any time on those emails. I was just going to compile them for the council and then send it in. Because they don't write reports. They don't do affidavits every time they do something. But, if they are getting out of their truck and doing something, we don't know that unless we have some form of documentation. And so if they get back in their truck and send a 1-sentence email, I told Joe Blow his dog was out, I have a date, I have a time, we know what happened. I don't need I encountered the person at this time, and we came upon a black and white dog, and it appeared to be friendly. However, I went to the dog. I don't need that. Talk to this person about the dog being out. Send.
That would be nice to know.
So
it seems to be a continued problem.
Right.
Dogs.
Well, and I think since we've started this contract with the county, we've asked for better reporting, and we've yet to get, something. Show us something that we can see what's happened. Even the reports that we've been provided, we don't.
And he has, and I think after your conversation last time, he, like I said, he went and he got a list of the court cases, and he broke it down. This is how many citations have been issued. This is how many went to court in Bird City in their municipal court. This is how many went to This is how many went to Bird City in their municipal court. This is how many went to St. Francis in their municipal court. This is how many went to district court. And he has a list of all of those. I guess the other thing, if you want to talk cost effectiveness, Bird City has a fine schedule. Bird City has if they were speeding this much to this much over, it's this many dollars. If they were speeding this much to this much over, it's this many dollars. Whereas we have adopted at large the STO, which has a not to exceed, and so it has a range of what that is to be. Not to exceed. And if the larger it is, it's not less than and not more than. I guess if St. Francis wanted to adopt a standard fee schedule, I have one time seen a traffic ticket in Bird City Court. They had 17 last month.
All our traffic go over there anyways.
Our traffic goes over there. Bird City's goes to Bird. But because Bird City has, this is the court cost, this is the fine, this is your date, and you have to be in court unless you pay it. I've seen one traffic ticket in the entire time I've been there go to municipal court because it's, you were speeding, here's your fine. Whereas with the way
ours,
that
you have to go to.
Well, you have to go to court. You have to go to court, and you have to have a first appearance, and then the judge has to tell you what your rights are, and then she gives you the opportunity to settle it with me, and so then I have to talk to you about it, and then I have to go back and I type up a journal entry that's if we come to an agreement, we type up a journal entry and send it to the judge, and then it gets filed, and then we try and collect. Whereas with like I said, with Bird City, it's just this is your fine, and if you don't pay it by this date, you have to be in court. They get paid. I mean, the citations get paid. I've seen it. Like I said, I've seen it once.
Do you want to send that fee? Can you share that with us, just so
I can. I'll talk to Bird City about getting it over.
Yeah.
In
In our discussions, obviously, where we've talked about looking at readdressing everything between Cody and you and Ian, and that's obviously something we can look at too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in adopting a fee schedule, I still think driving without a license, driving while intoxicated, no insurance. I still think no registration. The bigger things, I still think those should go through district. I mean, I just don't think. Generally, what we have found in the couple of cases that we have found is that people who are driving without insurance generally cannot afford the insurance, and so, I mean, it doesn't do really any good to the city if they are coming here and then we are paying to prosecute them and then we are sending them to collections. So, yeah, I will get that fee schedule and I will have it here for the next meeting. I'll follow up with Cody before the next meeting. He's out, I think, the rest of this week. But I'll try and follow up with him before the next meeting. So hopefully we can both get in here and we can kind of get on the same page, and I will get the fee schedule from Bird City. I'll get it to Leanne so she can put it in the file for the next meeting. I mean, and they have that, and then they also have they have a diversion agreement. If you want a diversion, it's this many if you're going this much over, this much if you're going this much over. I mean, it's stacked, and it goes. That's what the diversion fee is. If you want it, you have to not only pay the fine on the ticket, but you have to also pay for the diversion fee. Obviously, there's certain instances where you cannot get a diversion. If you have a CDL, you can't. Sorry?
The city's done diversion agreements for.
Right. I mean, and we do diversion agreements for ordinance violations.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's something that's rectifiable. I mean, we had one person who was cited for driving without a license, and they brought it in a timely fashion, and I have a license, I just did not physically have it on me, or other, they had purchased the insurance but they didn't have the proof of insurance. I mean, and there's certain things where we we'll either dismiss it or but that's still all time that's spent, that's a cost to the city, and having to figure that out. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to get the fee schedule. And I think, I mean, I don't know if the city is interested, but we can also I can also bring the diversion schedule, the fee schedule for that, if you would like me to. Get it to Leanne.
Yeah, that'll be good.
All right. I will do that.
Anything else? Any questions for Lauren? If not, is there a motion to accept and file the attorney report?
So move.
Moved by Justin, second by Bud, all in favor? All right. Clerk report.
I don't have any.
Don't have anything.
Can
All right.
we paid that check. We had to write a check to the Northwest Kansas Travel Council, and there's some confusion on the ad. So it was for the 2025 ad, but we pay it ahead so they can have the money and get the publication going. So I had to write a check out of cycle for $1,700, but you guys are going to have to motion to approve paying that ad.
Is there a motion to
So,
moved by
Second.
Gail, second by Larry, all in favor?
what's the ad go to?
That was the Northwest,
Northwest Kansas magazine, isn't it?
The ultimate guide.
the ultimate guide.
It's the one we've
Chris-
advertised in for multiple, several years.
Anything else? No? Council comments, Bud?
Well, at the CCDC meeting, we talked about the 36 highway deal. And we're starting to issue the numbers for it starting today. And so you'll start seeing around town, you'll start seeing the numbers, and you'll probably start seeing a lot of junk in the yards.
Okay.
So Danny, you ready for cleanup?
Yeah. Kale, you have anything?
Is that the same?
Nothing besides what we already kind of went over about the dogs being a problem. I hear about it all the time, about the running groups in town getting chased by dogs, getting bit by dogs. There's court cases about one guy got mauled on his leg, which is kind of out of city limits, but still, it's around here. So we got to do something.
When I was talking to Cody today, he said one of the biggest issues is people see this and they have a lot of this information, but he said the number of calls that come in compared to the number of posts on Facebook are so disproportionate, and they are not just sitting on Facebook monitoring it. And so if people are looking for resolutions, rather than posting it on Facebook, they need to call dispatch and say, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Because the deputies aren't patrolling Facebook for lost dogs.
Exactly. They got a call.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he said, the number of calls that actually come in for the dogs is nowhere near the number of posts, and everybody sees each Facebook post, but for every 5 posts, there might be 1 call.
Yeah.
So if people want things done about the dogs, rather than posting on Facebook, take a picture of the dogs, call the dispatch, so they can see that the dog is at large.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Larry?
I've got 2 things. I just wanted to say thank you to the parks people that have got the park ready for the concert. Did a great job. And big kudos to Dan Blair for taking care of a couple of electrical issues on his day off Saturday at the park for the concert. Fixed the light and took care of electrical issues with the vendors. So thank you.
That's just 'cause I was hungry.
I buy that, yeah. But we appreciate it.
Justin?
No.
Nothing? Okay. Did everybody have a chance to review the bills on ordinance 1090? Did you give that to me, Leanne? Any questions on the bills? Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Larry,
Second.
second by Kale, all in favor? Leanne, did you have something to add? No?
Oh, I was just going to say, Jen stopped when Jen brought up the Northwest Kansas invoice.
Mhm.
Nobody motioned to accept the clerk.
Oh, is there
That
a
was all.
motion to accept and file the clerk report?
Come on.
Moved by Kale, second by Justin, all in favor? Right, motion to adjourn. Larry? Kale?
Okay.
All right. I have to.
I have to go now.